One of the things we're looking at with President Zelensky is having the security of their assets. They have assets underground, rare earth and other things, but primarily rare earth. And we want to have security. Really, we want security because, as you know, Europe is putting up much less money than us, NATO, Europe, call it whatever you want. And we're at probably 300 billion plus, and they're at probably, the real number is 100 billion. That's a lot of money, but it's 200 billion less than us, and there's an ocean in between. And they need it more than us. So we're asking them to equalize and get even. But we're also asking President Zelensky for the security of, we're putting all this money up and we're saying, where does it stop? And yet we want to see it out to an end. We want to see it end.
This is my video update on this Saturday afternoon, February the 8th, coming to you from Athens, Greece, from a very windy and it's starting to rain, Athens, Greece. Let's talk about some news. Maybe we'll get under one of these beautiful trees, which should provide some protection from the rain. And we can talk about Trump and his meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister. And he gave a press conference in the Oval Office. He spoke to reporters in the Oval Office, and actually they had a press conference afterwards. During the press conference with the Japanese Prime Minister standing next to him, Trump said that he would want to talk to Kim Jong-un, North Korea, again, pick up where he left off during his first term, which was interesting for him to say that as the Japanese Prime Minister was standing next to him. But before they had the proper press conference, they were in the Oval Office, and Trump was taking questions from reporters. And the topic that the reporters were focused in on was Project Ukraine. And Trump revealed that he will most likely, it wasn't definite, but he said most likely he would be meeting with Zelensky next week in the United States. Trump said he's not going to be leaving the United States to meet with Zelensky. Zelensky is going to have to travel to the U.S., which Zelensky will not mind. I think the Green Goblin likes to travel, and he wants to get out of Kiev. So most likely next week, Zelensky will be traveling to the U.S. and meeting with Trump. And then Trump said that after the meeting with Zelensky, he would be talking to Putin, or he would like to talk to Putin, which I take it as a phone call, not an actual face-to-face meeting. Trump also talked about the casualties in Ukraine. He said that the war would have never started if he was president. He said he wants the war to end. And then he said that the Russians are suffering 800 to 900,000 casualties, have suffered 800 to 900,000 casualties. And he said I believe he said Ukraine has suffered 700,000 casualties. So those are the numbers that Trump said during this press conference, which are numbers that he has said in the past as well. Most likely he's getting these figures from, if I had to take a guess, from Waltz and from Kellogg. And they're probably getting these numbers from Ukraine and from the collective West media. And they're passing it on to Trump, and Trump is repeating these figures. He also talked about the rare earth minerals. And once again, he was talking about providing security guarantees to Ukraine in exchange for weapons, security guarantees in exchange for the rare earth minerals. The rare earth minerals have become quite a talking point over the past couple of weeks, huh? Now, Lindsey Graham, he talked about Ukraine's resources, energy, rare earth minerals, stuff like that. He talked about these things when Biden was president about, I want to say, 6 months ago. And he was talking about how Ukraine has trillions and trillions of dollars in all of these resources. And that is why the United States needs to continue to escalate with Russia and continue to be involved in Ukraine and to defeat Russia so that the United States can get at these Ukraine resources. And Elensky, when he was trying to push his victory plan about a year ago, when he was really pushing his victory plan, he was talking about how Ukraine could trade its resources, oil, gas, minerals, food, wheat, stuff like that, how Ukraine could trade these resources with the collective West in his victory plan for weapons, for security, for NATO membership, for stuff like that. He was talking about that during his victory plan stint when he was really pushing hard his victory plan. That was about a year ago. But over the past couple of weeks, Trump has really made the rare earth minerals a big talking point when it comes to Project Ukraine. He's really latched on to the rare earth minerals narrative. And all the experts agree, everyone agrees that there really are no rare earth minerals for the United States to get from Ukraine. Most of the rare earth minerals are in the Donbass and they're under Russia's control, and whatever big mines and deposits of these minerals are controlled by Ukraine. A lot of them are in the Ukrainian-controlled part of Zaporozhye, which eventually Russia's going to get control of, because Zaporozhye, according to the Kremlin, according to the Russian Federation, is part of the Russian Federation. So eventually, in the next 3 or 6 or 9 months or whatever, all of Zaporozhye, the entirety of Zaporozhye, I would imagine, would become part of Russia, would be under Russian control, and that would mean the bulk of the minerals, the rare earths, would be under the control of the Russian Federation. So what is going on then with the rare earth minerals? Because you got to imagine that the Trump White House knows all of this. I mean, if we know this, they know this. So why does Trump go on and on about the rare earth minerals? What's he trying to get at? What do you guys think is going on? He's definitely talking about the rare earth minerals so that he can try to bluff China. I think that's part of it, because China pretty much controls much of the rare earth minerals in the world. And you know that Trump is going to have to be talking to Xi Jinping in the near future, and he wants to approach Xi Jinping and say, look, when it comes to rare earth minerals, you control many of the rare earth minerals, but we've also got Ukraine, so there you go. So I think that's part of it, but China must know that this is a bluff from Trump, and that Ukraine really doesn't have the rare earth minerals to give to the United States, and the majority of the rare earth minerals that can be mined are under Russian control, and well, Russia is very good friends with China. So you know, the tree, it protects me from the rain, but it also makes for a great cup holder. Nature's amazing, huh? Trees, multi-purpose trees, gotta love them. So what else is Trump trying to get at with the rare earth minerals? Here's my thinking. One thing that he might be trying to do by really latching on to this rare earth minerals narrative is that he may be looking for a way to explain to the American people, to the U.S. citizens who are fed up with money going to Ukraine and the U.S. supporting the Green Goblin. He may be trying to think up a way to say, well, I'm going to continue to escalate with the United States on the advice of Kellogg and Waltz. I'm going to continue to provide money and weapons to Zelensky, even though it is extremely unpopular with American citizens. But I'm going to do it because we're going to be making a great deal. right? I'm the deal man. I'm the art of the deal. And so I know that it's unpopular to give money to Zelensky and to continue this war. But what we're going to get in return is we are going to get riches and rare earth minerals and all kinds of resources. And it's well worth it. It's well worth escalating in order to get the trillions and trillions of dollars of beautiful Ukrainian rare earth minerals and resources. So that may be one thing that he's trying to do. Or what he might be doing is he might be stringing Zelensky and Ukraine along with this rare earth minerals narrative, just trying to buy time, stringing them along and saying, yeah, I'll give you security guarantees. You give me rare earth minerals. Trump speaks to his team and he says, yeah, I know they don't have any rare earth minerals to give us. I get it, but just keep on telling Zelensky this and we'll buy ourselves some time. We'll get the rhinos. We'll buy some time with the rhinos so they can approve Tulsi Gabbard. They can approve RFK, Kash Patel. They'll see that we're committed to escalating with Russia, and then I'll drop Project Ukraine onto the UK and onto the Europeans, and we'll be done with this thing. So maybe he's using it as a tool to string the Green Goblin along, so that he can eventually get his appointees in place and figure out a way to exit Project Ukraine and save face. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think Trump is up to with this rare earths minerals narrative? Because I'll tell you this, here's my thinking. Yes, Lindsey Graham talked about this. Yes, the Green Goblin talked about this. But a couple of weeks ago, Trump latched on to the rare earths minerals narrative after a reporter asked him this question in the White House when he was signing executive orders. My theory is that this question was planted with the reporter. The White House planted this question. They told the reporter to ask Trump about rare earth minerals, and that's what the reporter did. And well, here we are talking about rare earth minerals. I think the question was a plant. I think Trump wants to discuss rare earth minerals. I think he wants to make it a talking point when dealing with Project Ukraine. I just can't figure out why. Why does he want it to be a talking point? That's what I'm still trying to figure out. I'd be interested to read in the comments below what you think is going on. So with that being said, come on, cup holder tree. All right, good. With that being said, let's talk about, well, Elensky actually gave an interview to Reuters. I believe it was Reuters the other day, and he also said, let's do a deal when it comes to the rare earth minerals. And he actually took out a map of Ukraine, and he was showing where all the rare earth minerals are located. And basically, using Zelensky logic, he basically said, look, the Russians, they want to get our minerals and our resources, so we have to escalate with Russia. The U.S. has to continue to support Ukraine, and let's make a deal and give our minerals to the United States, right? Instead of giving them to Russia, let's give them to the United States. That's what Elensky was saying, and he was showing a map of Ukraine with all of the minerals, and the reporters were looking on and watching the Green Goblin. Have you noticed that the Green Goblin is not wearing green anymore? He's trying to phase out of the green T-shirts and the green sweatshirts. He's wearing more black, which leads me to believe that in the next few months you may be seeing a suit. He may be suiting it up, a shirt and a tie. I don't know. Something's up. Something is up. He's trying to phase out the green attire. Brandon Welchert says the stupidity of Elensky's victory plan that involves bribing the Americans with Ukraine's vast rare earth mineral stores. Most of the rare earths are located in the Russian-controlled eastern and southern regions. True. Stephen McIntyre says yesterday Trump said that he wanted the security of rare earth from Ukraine in exchange for continued military aid in the proxy war against Russia. I have experience in mineral exploration business. The notion that Ukraine rare earth resources provide any security is totally delusional on several counts. The reported Ukraine rare earth resources are not in production, are uneconomic, and have 0 to negative chance of ever being developed. 2, rare earths aren't actually rare. There are better resources in many other parts of the world, including Canada. Interesting. Though it seems that the U.S. would rather fund wars in Ukraine than have peace in Canada. And number 3, the value of rare earth imports to U.S. is tiny compared to the expenditures on Ukraine war. I thought I would add that in to the rare earth mineral discussion. So Kellogg gave an interview to the New York Post. And the title from the New York Post is Trump Ready to Double Down on Russian Sanctions, U.S. Envoy to Ukraine Keith Kellogg says. So Kellogg is saying that the plan for Project Ukraine, one of the plans for Project Ukraine, is more sanctions on Russia, doubling down on sanctions on Russia. In an interview with the New York Post this week, Kellogg said the current sanctions against Russia are only about a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how painful the economic pressure can be. You could really increase the sanctions, especially the latest sanctions, he stated in an apparent referral to the EU's 15th package of sanctions that target Russian oil production and exports. By the way, the Russian economy grew 4.1%. GDP grew 4.1% in 2024. Manufacturing was the main driver of Russia's economic growth, according to the Russian prime minister. Yeah, Russian companies filled the void left by the exit of collective West companies, and the Russian economy is growing big time, 4.1%. It's very impressive. Very impressive. But Kellogg, he wants more sanctions. And he's referencing the EU's 15th sanctions package, where he is obviously talking about oil and LNG. He believes that more could be done with oil and LNG sanctions. He's stuck on the idea of crashing the oil price and crashing the Russian economy, because Kellogg believes that Russia's economy is all about oil and gas, and there's nothing else to it. A gas station masquerading, cleared up. A gas station masquerading as a country, he still believes that narrative. So he's basically saying, look, what we could do is we could sink the oil price. We could push Saudi Arabia and OPEC, not OPEC plus, but OPEC, to sink the oil price against their own interests. And they've said that they're not going to do it. But he's probably thinking we can get them to do it. We can get the European Union to go after the shadow fleets that are transporting LNG and oil. We can go after India, who's refining the oil. I don't know. He's basically saying, look, we can figure out a way to just completely cut off Russian trade in energy and flood the market with oil and just crash the Russian economy. It's not going to work. Not going to happen. Not going to work. Kellogg just does not have a clear understanding of Russia and the Russian economy. He's completely bought into all of the propaganda from the USAID-funded media, both in the collective West and in Ukraine. But if this is the plan that he's going to present to Trump, and if this is the plan that Trump's going to present to Putin, the Russians are going to be laughing at this. They're going to say, bring it on. Bring it on. We are going to achieve our goals as stated for the special military operation. Go ahead and bring on a 16th sanctions package and a 17th sanctions package, and do whatever you think you need to do to try and ratchet up the sanctions from a 3 pain level to a 6 or 7, You've already placed 40 or 50 or 60 or 70,000 sanctions on Russia, the most sanctioned country in the world. Go ahead, Trump, go ahead. The only thing that's going to happen is that whatever sanctions they believe they can place on Russia, it's just going to end up hurting the collective West, especially Europe. My thinking is that whatever sanctions they place on Russia, the United States, it's going to really crush the European Union. It's going to hurt the United States as well, but it's going to really crush the European Union. Poor European Union. Poor Ursula. Poor Ursula. She's caught in the middle of this fighting between Trump and Putin. Oh, man. Ursula and Kaya Kallas, stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. Kaya Kallas put out a tweet, a post the other day, and she said that it's victory for Europe, because the Baltic nations, they managed to, what did she say, to cut off electricity that they were getting from Russia. I wonder if I have this post from Kaya Kallas bookmarked. Let's see here. I'm on her account on X. She's so stunning. She's so brave. She's so smart. Here it is. Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia will permanently disconnect from Russia's power grid tomorrow. Russia can no longer use energy as a tool of blackmail. This is a victory for freedom and European unity. Victory. It's victory. We've crushed Putin's war machine. We've crushed the Russian economy. It is in tatters. You see, all that was missing, the secret weapon that was missing for the collective West, was Kaya Kallas, man. Borrell and his jungle and his garden. It's nonsense, man. Borrell and his jungle and garden. What they needed was stunning and brave Kaya Kallas. You see, a week ago, she cut off the Xbox gaming consoles. She cut those off, and now she's cutting off the Baltic nations from Russia's power grid. Dang, man, Russia's in trouble. Russia's in trouble. My sources in the Kremlin are telling me that they are very worried. Very worried. Putin had to call an emergency meeting. That's right. My sources in Moscow tell me that in the middle of the night, Putin had to drive to the Kremlin, and he called a special meeting with Lavrov and Zakharova and Medvedev because of this move from Kaya Kallas. They are very, very worried. Anyway, let's get back to the news here. Let's get back to the news. So that's Kellogg. That is what is going on with Kellogg. He will be in Munich in about a week. We'll see what goes on there. I'm sure I'll get a lot of Clown World material from the Munich Security Conference. I'll get some good Clown Worlds from there. We have reports saying that the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, is going to be conducting an audit of defense spending. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. Pete Hegseth said that his goal is, in the next 4 years, to figure out where all the money is going. Where is all the money going? That's going to be an interesting audit. He needs to start with Project Ukraine. That's where he needs to start. First, look at all the weapons sent to Project Ukraine and figure out what's going on there. What else do we have going on? Have you guys seen the images of the USAID offices? They're taking down the signs of USAID, USAID. I always say USAID, of USAID. They're taking down the signs and they're boarding it up, man. They're boarding it up. It's done, man. It is done. It is done. There are court cases now to stop the dismissal of all the employees who are working for USAID and trying to stop Trump from bringing the 10,000 or 15,000 15,000 or 10,000 USAID employees around the world? Bro, what is going on, man? What are these 10,000 people doing? Like all around the world. And the Trump White House said, bring them back to the United States. And now there's lawsuits trying to prevent Trump from doing all of this. But USAID is done. Now it's going to be folded into the State Department. It's going to become something new. Who knows? Who knows? But you know, we'll tackle that in the future. We'll deal with that in the future. For now, let's just enjoy the victory. That's my philosophy. Let's enjoy the victory, which is that USAID has been brought down. Trump is also bringing back plastic straws. I will be signing the executive order next week, ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Back to plastic. I am 1,000% for this, even though it's not going to affect me because I'm living in EU territory, and they're 100% committed to the paper straws, even though when you're drinking, when you order a freddo or a frappe in Greece, cold coffee, iced coffee, they'll give you a big plastic cup, a big plastic cup and a paper straw. That's what they give you, a big plastic cup and a paper straw. But this is a good move. This is a good move. Let's get rid of the paper straws. Back to plastic. Because Trump's right, they don't work. He's right, the paper straws do not work. Trump also revoked Biden's access to classified information. That's a good move. Absolutely a good move. But Biden getting classified information, would he understand what what he's reading? Would he understand what he's being briefed on? I don't think so. I don't think so. But still, it's a good move. Biden did the same thing to Trump, I believe. I believe he revoked Trump's access to classified information and took away Trump's security clearances. So this is a tit-for-tat move. But Biden going over classified information. Bidenopoulos, Greece's favorite son. No more classified info for you. That means that Hunter's not going to be able to get any classified info. Renaissance man, Hunter Biden. No more classified info from his pops. Nope. Oh boy, Keir Starmer, Keir Starmer, as Lukashenko calls him. He wants Apple user data, encrypted user data. He is telling Apple, the UK is telling Apple, to create a backdoor access to iCloud encrypted data so that they can get into iCloud and see everything that users have on iCloud, on Apple iCloud. And this story is actually a Washington Post exclusive. Secret UK order demands Apple allow access to all cloud content from users worldwide. The British government's undisclosed order, issued last month, requires blanket capability to view fully encrypted material and has no known precedent in major democracies. No known precedent in major democracies. Yeah, that's bad. That is bad. If Apple agrees to this, that's bad. Very bad news. Then every other country is going to start to have this request from Apple, and that's it. Your whatever you have on iCloud, it's for the government's taking. The government's going to be able, the UK government and all the governments around the world are going to be able to go into iCloud and see everything that you've got on iCloud. And then it's going to carry over to other service providers and other cloud services. Let's hope that Apple tells Stormer to stuff it. Let's hope. We'll see what happens with this story. Let's do some clown worlds, and we can wrap this video up. So Elensky, he He's launching another attack into Kursk. The first attack failed. He's launching another attack, trying to gain territory before the Munich Security Conference, trying to show that Ukraine can go on the attack against Russia, therefore continue to give us money and weapons. And of course, he's trying to distract away from Russia's gains. For example, the Russian Ministry of Defense, I believe they officially announced that Russia has captured, well, they've captured many villages. The Russian Ministry of Defense announced that the Russian military has captured a bunch of villages and towns, but the big announcement was Toretsk. The Russian Ministry of Defense said that Toretsk is now under the control, liberated is what they say. They use the word liberated by the Russian military. Interesting choice of words. But that is the announcement coming from the Russian Ministry of Defense, and the Kursk attack is meant to distract away from Russian gains. And Elensky, he explained why yesterday in his TikTok, Instagram update, he explained why the first attack into Kursk was such a catastrophic failure. Take a guess why it was such a catastrophic failure. It wasn't because of the Russian military. Nope. It was those North Korean troops. Those North Korean troops are back, according to Elensky. In the areas of the Kursk operation, new assaults have taken place. Russia has once again deployed North Korean soldiers alongside its troops. So Russia's not sending the North Korean troops to their annihilation. They're not pushing them to the front ahead of the Russian military like they used to be doing, according to Elensky. Elensky made the claim that Russia was using the North Korean troops in human wave tactics, right? So Russia's not doing that anymore. Now they're fighting alongside the Russian military, but they're back. They left. Last week they left. They were gone. The New York Times said there's no more North Korean troops in Kursk. They've decided to leave, but now they've come back. Now they've come back. Yeah. You see, they were on a train. They were leaving Kursk, and they were on the train, about to go back to North Korea, about to go home. And it's a long train trip, right? You have to travel all across through Russia to get to North Korea. And right when they were about to cross over to North Korea, they heard the announcement, we have to turn the train around. We have to turn the train around, or the bus. We have to turn the bus around, whatever. And we have to go back to Kursk. And the North Korean troops are like, oh, come on, man. We have to go back. Yeah, we have to go back. We have to go back and fight the Green Goblin. Oh, those North Korean troops. What else? NATO allies discussed sending troops to Greenland after Trump threats. NATO is going to fight NATO. The United States is going to fight European NATO. That's what we've got going on in Greenland. Yeah, EU troops, European troops in Greenland, just in case Trump gets any ideas about moving on into Greenland. Don't get any funny ideas there, Trump, trying to take over Greenland, because we're going to have EU troops stationed there. Ridiculous. Germany said they're going to send troops, by the way. France said they're going to send troops. The French foreign minister a couple of weeks ago said that France is all in. They're going to send troops to Greenland, and now Germany is saying we're in too. We will send troops to protect Greenland. Yeah, Germany's going to send their military to protect Greenland against the United States. Too bad they didn't protect the Nord Stream pipeline, huh? from Gilligan. Anyway, that's another clown world. And I think that's it. I think I'll wrap up the video. Did you see the Time magazine cover with Elon Musk sitting at the Oval Office behind the desk of the president? Time implying that Elon Musk is really the president of the United States. Yeah. They're going after the Trump White House with that one. Elon Musk is really the person that's running the United States, not President Trump. It was Musk's idea to bring back plastic straws. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. Actually, Trump was asked about the Time cover, and I think Trump's response was, "Does Time even exist anymore? I thought it shut down. I thought it was getting money from USAID, and now that it's not going to be getting the money from USAID, it's not going to be able to operate anymore." That's not what Trump said, but who knows? Maybe Time was funded by USAID. I don't know. Seems like every media outlet was funded by USAID. Anyway, that's the video. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, X. Go to the Duran shop. Pick up some merch like what I'm wearing in this video, which is a Duran bomber jacket. The link is in the description box down below. Subscribe to this channel if you want to. Like this video if you want to. I will see everybody tomorrow.